What is going on, YouTube people? Today, back to the Pikachu streets. We've been talking Final Fantasy for the last few videos, but some interesting things have been going on over in the world of Pokemon while we were focused on the Final Fantasy collector stuff. By the way, Final Fantasy collector boxes continue to go to the moon. Quick note off the top here. Probably no content on this channel for probably maybe close to a week, at least 5 days or so. I will be traveling to New York City this weekend for Fanatics Fest, so I will not be around to record on this channel. If something absolutely wild happens, I'll do a pop-up video, but this will probably be the last video for a few days. So just a little FYI there. All right, Paldean Fates got hit with the old buyout, specifically ETBs. Someone swooped in and bought up a ton of ETBs, both regular and Pokemon Center ETBs in the last 24 hours or so. Most of these sales all went down on the 17th, and prices have jumped way up by about $50 or so on the regular, and I'll double check the PCs in a second. But here we see Paldean Fates Elite Trainer boxes, and look at the sales volume on the 17th. 25 of these bad boys were sold, and it took the price from the 150, basically $150, right up to $200. The cheapest available now unopened is $198. So a big old buyout on those. On the Pokemon Center exclusive ones, those also got bought out. These were sitting at around $220. You could see just a couple selling each day. And then yesterday, 37 of them sold. Took it from $220 to $270. So a $50 increase as well on those ETBs. Only 40 currently listed for sale of the Pokemon Center exclusive, and only 44 regular ETBs on that side of the fence. And this was not just limited to TCG Player. I went over and looked at eBay sold listings, and there's a little bit of noise here, but a ton of Fates ETBs got binned / bought yesterday as well, at all varying shapes. This is still on the 17th. A ton of these things sold yesterday. We are still on the 17th. People were just smacking the buy it now left, right, and center. Now we're down to the 16th. But a ton of those moved yesterday as well over on eBay. So the buyout was not just limited to one marketplace. They gobbled up TCG Player, and they gobbled up eBay. Now, maybe it wasn't the same person. Someone might have saw TCG Player got wiped out and then ran over to eBay and bought a bunch. You know, those are the things that we don't really know. But regardless, big movements in Paldean Fates ETBs. Booster bundles were untouched, probably because of the volume of them. There's over 1,000 of them listed on TCG Player. But those don't look like they've moved at all. On May 30th, they were $60. Today, they're $61. They've basically been around that same price, give or take literally $2 or $3. They've been essentially $60 a pop. So those have not moved yet. And the booster bundles don't always move in sync with the other product. We talk about this all the time. The ETB itself is the collectible. So it's not necessarily about the packs inside. Those are almost a bonus. The actual sealed ETB is the thing that people want. That has become an actual collectible item. And as we've seen over the years, Pokemon is less likely to reprint ETBs in mass. They usually go with the booster bundles. That's why you see a ton of these things out there. These are the slowest to move. I still like them quite a bit, just from a storage and shipping standpoint, and it's just an ease of use, I guess, if you want to boil it down to one phrase there. But they do not escalate in price quite as rapidly as the traditional ETBs do when something like this goes on, just because of how much they're printed. So some crazy action going around on Paldean Fates, both the ETBs and the PC ETBs. Now we will see, do more sellers come to market? You know, this thing just leveled way up in price. Does it stay at this $200 level, or does it like level back off at 180 if a bunch of people sitting on these things flood the market with them? I think I have like 5 of these that I paid retail price for that I'm just still sitting on. Now, do keep in mind, this is Scarlet and Violet Air product. This could technically be reprinted. Now, this is one of the older ones. We'll see. Will they reprint it? I don't know. I would see bundles most likely coming to market, not ETBs, but it's at least worth filing that away that this is still technically a reprintable product. Now, before we go, let's just check in on a couple things real quick. Prismatic Evolution ETBs. These have bounced back ever so slightly. They did dip below $100. They got into the low 90s, mostly due to all those Costco bundles coming out. Those have kind of dried up a little bit, and the price is slowly creeping back up. We're now back over 100, floating around the 105, 110 range. So Prismatic seems to be on its way back up again. And then just a quick check-in on Destined Rivals. This product continues to just maintain. She came out at 250, 260, and it's just been sitting there. It has not gone to the moon, but it also has not crashed. As we've talked about as well on the channel for a while, when release day happens, all the inventory floods and hits the market at once. That is not the case here. I mean, it did, but there was enough demand to meet it. And these things have basically stayed flat. Not much movement on them at all. And I honestly, unless the whole world crashes, which God only knows, I don't see these things really slowing down much, because here's the thing. Even if there's a reprint / restock on them, guess what? Distro's going to go to shops and be like, yep, you can have them. They're $240 a box, $235 a box, whatever markup price they put on it. Or they'll say, yeah, you can have them at $160 MSRP, but you have to take $2,000 a Gundam or something random like that with it. So we'll see what happens there with those, but that product seems to be selling extremely strong and not showing any signs at all of weakness in the market. So just a quick little midweek update here on a couple things that were moving and shaking around the Charizard streets. The number one being the Paldean Fates buyout. Booster bundles are interesting in that at the price if you need to get a position on them if you don't already. I would be scared buying ETBs at these prices just based off of the buyout, and there is a slim chance of a reprint and more sellers coming to market that have been sitting on this stuff. $200 for one of those ETBs seems crazy. I am glad that I have mine locked in. That is all I got for you, boys and girls. I will catch you on the other side of New York City. Peace.